tell you something shocking. Do you know that the biggest success doesn't come from someone having talent or resources, but it actually comes from learning to ignore those who've never tried anything, those who've never built anything, and those who've never succeeded in anything? Have you ever noticed it? Those who tell you you can't, you won't, you are not good at that, stick at that, don't do this, don't do that, they've actually never been in the arena. They've never looked stupid. They've never tried anything. They've never failed. They've never attempted to build something from scratch. Yet their advices and their noises are the loudest. Have you ever noticed it? If you are in this video and you've actually gone through that, let's have a real conversations like the besties we are. Do you know that playing safe might feel comfortable at the moment, but it's actually a very big risk to your future? Because you know what? Playing safe makes you feel you are safe at the moment, that you do not need to try. But you know what that does? It takes your future slowly by slowly. Playing safe makes you feel invisible. It makes you be stuck. Not just feel invisible, but actually be invisible. It makes you stuck. It makes you feel as if you're moving or as if you're doing something, but in reality, you are not making progress. And I have been there. I have been there where I tried to play safe. I was afraid of posting, afraid of showing up, afraid of stepping up, afraid of being myself. But on the other side, I know how liberating and how much freedom you get by just being yourself and stepping up and silencing the doubters and deciding to bet on yourself. Today's video, I am going to tell you how playing safe will not take you anywhere and how you can actually start ignoring the noises. You can actually start believing in yourself more and rise up. If you've ever stopped doing something just because you feared critics or someone made you stop doing that, I am here. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is actually meant for you. Hello online family, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Brightstar and this one is just not another star. This one is beautiful, bold, brave, brilliant, bright, and a little extra. Bright by name, bold by purpose. Bright by name, star by nature. Built from grass to grace, rising through scars and refusing to dim. On this platform, I am not just Brightstar, I am your online bestie. So if you are here for the laughter, for the lessons, or something a little extra to brighten your day, you are in the right place. Always remember, life is too short to allow anyone to dim your light. On this channel, I am not just Brightstar, I am your online bestie. Here, we laugh, we shine, and we grow together. So if you are here for the lessons, for the laughter, or something a little extra to brighten your day, you are in the right place. And always remember, life is too short to let anyone dim your light. And that's why here, it's all things bold, all things bright, sir. Society pushes all of us to safe choices, safe careers, safe jobs, safe businesses, safe relationships. And that's okay, right? Because society wants to protect you. Most of the time, society wants you to stick to what is the norm. But sometimes it can get a little bit boring. It's like eating food. Let me not say that. It's like eating ugali. I want to say ugali. Ugali is a Kenyan food. It's like eating ugali with water. Yeah, you will survive. Yeah? But why live like that? Like, safe is boring, but safe is also safe. Like, you do not get to lose a lot. And let me tell you about my life and how I've played safe. I have played safe all my life. I have played safe all my life. You know, when it comes to, like, relationships, I am always safe. I have played safe to the point that I do not have a boyfriend. I am always like, I am not going to get heartbroken. Someone is not going to come and embarrass me. Someone is not... Like, I play too safe when it comes to putting my heart out here. And it's okay because I had decided I did not want to date until, my 30s. Yeah, I've made that decision and I'm okay with it. But I've always played safe. And in the process of doing that, it's like I've pushed good people away. So playing safe, you will not advance in relationships. You guys stay old. I probably have a chance of being an old cat lady in an island. because the level at which I protect myself where my heart is concerned, oh my goodness. But anyway, that was just, a joke, by the way. Maybe one day I'll stop playing safe. But I've played safe in a lot of areas. My business, for example, there was a time we were having a lot of clients. When I started out, after like a year, we had a lot of clients. You know what that did? It gave us a lot of pressure. Delivery on time, like we were really struggling. And you know what I did? I stepped back. I did lesser marketing, and I was like, I do not want to deal with it. But you see what that did to my business? It means we got stuck in the same place. Like we did not grow as a team. I just kept the team that I had. And maybe if someone leaves, then we can get a replacement. But playing safe made me feel like I did not want to grow the business. I did not want the pressures. I got stuck. That is in business, which is good though. Like in everything, there's always a good side, because that is how I started this channel, because I had time. But if I were to like constantly keep pushing the way I did when I started in business, we would have a lot of team members and a lot of orders, and it would be hectic. So that is in business. I've played safe in a lot of things. When I started out in social media, that time I used to hide my hand, so I was playing safe. Like I'm posing. That time I did not have a page though. It was just my personal account, yeah? But I did not have a page, but I could not post consistently. And even when I started the page and I tried to put myself out here, I could not be consistent until this year on August. 2025 on August is the time I'm finding my consistency. Now it's there, but I've never had consistency. You know what that has done to me? I would be very fair in terms of social media growth, in terms of a lot of things, brand deals, brand partnership. But I am here now trying to start and be consistent. Now, from those two examples, that shows you what? If you stay safe, if you play safe, you risk everything in your life. You might not actually be seeing it. Like right now, when I'm giving you the stories, the time I'm realizing, girl, you got stuck because you're trying to play safe. Playing safe will get your dreams stuck, and it will actually make you so anxious because you constantly feel like you're not advancing. And I felt like that until I decided to like give every day my all. Have you ever felt like that? What is your experience with playing safe? Do you ever feel like you've played safe in something and then it's no longer working? Or until you watch this video, you did not even realize that you were playing safe. Now, let's talk about something that I call the voices of the sidelines. You see, in every game, whether it's life, business, or even sports, there are two groups of people. There are those who are playing in the arena, and then there are those who are watching from the stands. Those in the arena, the players, they are always sweating, trying to score, failing, rising up, worried, doing the work. But those on the sidelines, those who are watching on the stands, they are always the ones who are shouting. And they shout a lot, and they tell opinions. And you know what is funny about life? Those are the people who actually say it won't work. Should have done this. You've wasted our time. Let me ask you something. If you are in your kitchen cooking and someone who's never cooked their entire life tells you you're putting too much salt, how would you respond? You'll be like, sir or madam, you've never even boiled water. Or let's say someone who's never gone to the gym tells you how to lift the weight. You would laugh, right? You would feel like, oh, no. But why is it when it comes to our life, our dreams and our ambitions, we listen to people and let them dictate how our destiny is going to be? The question we should be asking ourselves is, why is it that people on the sidelines talk too much? Why is it that they criticize too much? There are many reasons, but let me just give you a few of them. Fear projection. They see your own courage and they are reminded of their own fears and their own failures. Insecurity. They do not want you to outgrow them. And sometimes it's because they are protecting their comfort zone. What does that mean? That means they know if you succeed, if you take those risks, if you win, it's going to prove to the world that if you can do that with your circumstances and your situations, then they would have done more with their life. So it's like exposes them that person could do that. So let me just, instead of cheering them, instead of joining them in the arena to play with them, let me pull them in the stands so that we be the same. And my bubble is not broken. The bubble that I could have done more. Danger comes when you start listening to these voices and letting them control them. Because all of a sudden, you stop posting content because, so and so did not like it. You stop showing up because someone told you you are too much. You stop building that idea that you've had since you were 5 years because someone told you to require too much resources or someone like you could not do it. You stop showing up. You stop doing things that you love. You stop being the you that you're created to be because someone somewhere makes you play small. You have to play small so that you can fit in a particular category of people. But hey, bestie, please remember, no one throws stones at the players who are sitting on the bench, okay? People only throw stones at the players who dare to play. And I want you to ask yourself today, will you be the player who dare to play? Will you be the person who tried to build something, who tried to start something from scratch, who tried to do something great with your life and ignored the naysayers? Or will you be the player who you tried to please everyone and then you ended up with a mediocre life, mediocre finances, mediocre fiancé just because you were scared and you listened to the negative sayings? How do you handle the voices of the sidelines? Filter. Anytime someone gives you an opinion, always ask yourself, has this person done what I want to do? If the answer is yes, then maybe you can consider. If the answer is no, then consider that as noise, pure noise, and keep walking. Then you can also respect but don't obey. You know what? Sometimes voices of the sidelines can actually be your own family, your mother, your father, your siblings, your relatives. So you have to have respect because even the Holy Book says we respect our parents, but you do not have to obey. You just have to listen and show respect, but do what you feel you are supposed to do. And always remember to focus on the players. Surround yourself with other players in the field, like people who are playing, other entrepreneurs, other content creators, other risk takers. Because when you're surrounded by the winners, the players, you don't have time to focus on people who are doing nothing. You surround yourself with people who are like you so that you can encourage each other and realize you're not the only one who is being told you can't do it. They've also been told that, but what helped them? They close their ears. If I am to give my personal story, oh my goodness. When I started social media, I saw a lot of voices on the sidelines. They kept commenting on my hand. They kept reminding me. But you know what I will do? Sometimes I will just go to the profile picture. And at that point, I will be I was around 7,000 followers. Yeah, that's the time. 2022. 2022 is the time I decided to start doing my TikToks. I was at 7,000 followers. I was doing from 2020. So between 2020 to 2022, I only had 7,000 followers. But 2022, around June, July, I decided to start posting, even if not every day, but consistently. And I had 7,000 followers. So that's the time I started noticing these comments. And you know what? I would go to the profile picture of the person who's commented your hand. Oh my goodness, there was a lot. There was my voice. My voice is not good. My hand is not good. Oh, there was a lot of nasty comments. And at that point, I had a lot of anxiety every time I was standing in front of a camera. You can tell. You can tell because my voice is very high every time I'm on the camera because I struggled with anxiety, which I made peace with. But I would look at the profile picture of the person who is telling me all those things, and I'm like, oh, they have only 1 follower or 0 followers. And I'm like, you've not even tried to build anything. Have you tried to stand in front of this camera and see how hard it is? That's why my voice is shaking. When I started building myself, I realized that people who are throwing stones to me, there are people who are never tried to do videos. And was I going to let them stop me? Nah. I chose not to. I was like, you know what, girl? You want to become a social media star? You're gonna get out here and record the videos. I think it's the same thing when I started my business. Before that, I was in a business partnership for a year. And when I left to start by myself, they kept saying I was gonna go home in 1 year. They told my team, she is very emotional, she is very delicate, so she still behaves like a baby. Yeah, I did. I used to behave like a baby though. I still do once in a while. But they would say I would close down and then I would let everyone go home. Did I close down? Sorry. Now it's the 3rd year now. Going to the 4th year. I still run the business. I still have the team. And that tells you, people who had not run a business by themselves are the people who thought I could not run a business. Same thing when I started I started doing music in social media. Oh my goodness. There were comments saying, you should not sing, you should not do what, because my voice was also very shaky. But did I listen to them? They're like, stick to suits so that we come and promote you. The person who is writing that, they've never bought suits for me. They've never bought anything for me. So they're just trying to box me. But I'm trying to find out what is my niche. I've no, like, it's a time I'm like, okay, I've not yet decided what is my niche. But that means I do everything that I can. But they were trying to box me. Did I agree? No. I keep showing up. Because unless you've tried and failed, you cannot advise me. So, the same thing. And basically, always remember that the spectators always talk about the game, but the players, they are always inside. Feeling the game, they live the game, they play the game, and they change because of the game. That tells you should take control of your destiny. Do not let anyone have that narrative, because you are the player of your own life. You are the only one who has the idea of how your life is. You do not let those sideliners stop you. Always remember that the crowd sees the game, but the players live the game, they play the game, and their lives change because of the game. So don't let sidelines, the voice of the sidelines, dictate your destiny. Do not let them narrate where your future is going to be. Because history only remembers the players and not the spectators. Besties, let's talk about stagnation. Stagnation is when you are alive, but nothing else in your life is actually moving. You are stuck in the same fears, the same routines, the same excuses. Playing safe creates stagnation. And you know what? Sometimes stagnation may feel comfortable because, you are comfortable. But what you don't know is that your time is actually passing away. You complain about the same things, you wake up, do the same things, and one day you wake up, 5 years, 10 years is gone, and you do not know what you've done with your life. And you know what? You should actually be afraid of your time wasting away, because time is the only thing you can't get back. You can always get money, but you can never get time. Example of stagnation is a job trap. Just picture this. Someone working the same job for 20 years. They do not like it. They are complaining every day. They hate Monday to Friday. They cannot wait to go home, and they dread waking up. But they stick to the same job. Why? Because the paycheck feels safe. They are not fulfilled, yes, but the paycheck feels safe. And they tell themselves and comfort themselves and say, oh, at least I'm surviving. But no, you are not surviving. That is actually just living. Because you cannot survive if you're not happy with what you're doing. Most people do that, and then 30 years, 40 years, and then they retire, and then realize they don't have time to do the things that they loved. They were so comfortable, and they feared change, so they stuck in the same routines, even if they did not like them. A good example for my life is that when I graduated from college, the safest option, plain safe, would have been for me to get employed. And then I can just, it would have been easy. But then I decided to start a business. Was it safe? No. Was it what people encouraged? No. A lot of people actually discouraged me. And they told me starting a business when you are young is actually a mistake. But let me tell you, it was a mistake. I will not lie. Like, they were right. I struggled a lot. I went through a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. I was broke. I risked reputation that I had not yet built. I risked finances that I did not have. And that was scary as hell. And looking back at it, I always say if I would have gone back, I would have picked the safest option, which was to be employed. But it was not safe. But look at me now. I now have a business, and it still have built a brand in my country. Same thing when I decided to join social media. You think it was easy? No, it was not safe. Posting every day and showing up every day, and now you read comments and they're just focusing on the things that you're weak at, like your voice and your hands. That was not easy, but it was what I wanted. And now, a few years later, I have several followers. Not what I'm targeting, but I am somewhere there. The same thing as most of the things I've done in my life is just trying, it's just risking. I don't play safe. I only play safe with my heart and relationships. But when it comes to these other things, I am all out there. I'm going to try. I'm going to post myself. I'm going to push myself and put myself out there. And it might not be the safest option, but I sleep well at night knowing that I'm trying my best and I'm giving my all. The truth is, I've asked myself the question, what if people laugh at me? What if people think I'm cringe? What if I embarrass myself when I'm trying to do things that I'm not good at? I have asked myself those questions, and you will ask yourself every time you're trying something new. But you know what? You are better off than playing safe. And anytime you are tempted to play safe, always know that playing safe will rob you twice. I want you to know this, bestie. Nothing feels heavier than knowing that you could have been more, but you stayed average just because you chose to be safe. Nothing feels heavier than knowing that you could have been great, you could have been famous, you could have been rich, you could have been powerful, you could have been successful, you could have been a great family man, but you chose to stay safe. And I want you to always know this. Anytime you want to play safe, just know that being safe robs you twice. First, it robs you your growth because you stay in the same place. You never stretch. You never try new things. You're playing safe and you're not growing. And second, it robs you your joy because you will always feel so overwhelmed and sometimes so drained because you know you could have been more. You know that you're not living your potential, and that is so stagnating. Always look at playing safe as something like going to the supermarket or going to a restaurant and ordering your favorite meal every day. Let's say your favorite meal is chips. So you go to every restaurant and order for chips. You know what that does? It maintains you in the kids' corner. You know, you knew chips when you were a child and you've never changed that because you're scared. You're playing safe with what you know. So you will never get to know what other meals are in the menu. And that is devastating. You have to put yourself out. Sometimes you'll order for something else and realize, this is not for me. This is not for me. But at least you will have tried. Look at it from that angle. I want you to ask yourself, take a pen and paper right now, this moment, and ask yourself, what area of my life am I playing safe? Write it down. What area of your life are you playing safe? Is it your career? Is it your relationships? Is it your job? Is it your dreams? And ask yourself, how much is it costing you for you to play safe? Because you know what? While you are clinging on to the safety and what you know, joy, fulfillment, and happiness is waiting on you on the other side. Growth is waiting for you, and you cannot have that unless you stop playing safe. You will not stop stagnating unless you stop playing safe. What are some examples of people in history who dared to risk? I know you have a lot. Can you join me now and write it in the comment section there? What are some people who you know in history dared to risk? I'll give you some of my favorite stories in history. Let's start with Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, the safest path for him would have been to get a degree, get a job, and live a normal life. But Steve Jobs dropped out of school. That was a big risk. He attended classes that he did not need. He was curious. Steve Jobs chose growth over comfort. He chose to be curious, to invest in the world. And if Steve Jobs did not choose the risk path of the way, no iPad, no iPhone, no MacBook, what a world would that be? Him being daring enough and him taking the risk and choosing not to play safe did not just change his life. It actually changed billions of lives. Let's go to our favorite media queen, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah was fired from television. She was told that she is not fit to be on TV. If she would have chosen the safe option, she would be like, okay, if they can see that I'm not fit for TV, then that means that's the truth. And she would have quit. But what did Oprah do? She chose not to play safe. She chose to actually be vulnerable and show stories, not the way that the media was used to, but she ended up interviewing a lot of people, and that led to the birth of Oprah Winfrey Network. And that happens to be one of the biggest talk shows. Oprah Winfrey Show has to be one of the biggest. Now she's a billionaire. She's an industry changer. She's a philanthropic. Why? Because she did not choose to play safe. She was able to believe in her vision, in her dreams. Let's bring it closer. Let's bring it closer to Africa. Tyler. I am a big fan of Tyler. But Tyler took Amapiano to be an international sound. You know, if she followed the trends, if she was not okay with standing out, if she would have played soft, if she would have played safe, she would have actually chosen to just join another, like the trending sounds. She would have tried to urbanize herself. She would have tried to change her sound because she has a very deep South African accent. But Tyler did not do that. She was confident enough to stand out. She sang differently. She dressed differently. She actually took a South African beat international. And now that has led to her winning a Grammy. She's all over in the world. Why? Because she dared to go against playing safe. She dared to show the world, okay, this is why, and I can actually dance. So what do we learn from Steve Jobs, Oprah, Tyler, and everyone you've written in your list or in the comment section? This is what they teach us. They teach us that for you to be great, you have to take risk. That risk is just not optional. Risk is the only doorway if you want to be remembered, if you want your story to be told. And look at it from this angle. And even if you research on everyone that is great, every great person dared to risk. Because if you do not risk, if you play safe, your story will not be remembered. You will not be told 10 years from now. So that teaches us that we have to always risk. If you want to stand out, if you want your story to be told in generations, if you want to make an impact in this world, you have to stop playing safe. And I've seen that even with my own life. Telling my story in social media, that's a big risk. When I started out, I decided I want to do social media, I just had a business. And I decided that I did not want to be just a designer. I remember a lot of people telling me, just post your clothes and nothing else. Let people know you for clothes. I'm like, no, that's not what I want to be known. I want to be known for more things. So I posted my grandparents. I posted my cars. I posted my story. I posted my dances. I posted my music. And you know what? That's what makes people see me not just as a creator. Like people, when I meet people, they actually connect with me as if we are friends. Why? They see me as a brand. They see me as someone who's opened their life. It's risky to open your life when you're still building your life, But I chose to do that. And so you should. And so you should. You should just try to be different and tell your story. And every day you have to do what I do. Every morning I remind myself that if I do not show up every day, I will be forgotten. And if I do not dare to dream, someone else will. And my name will never be in history. The number one reason why most people play safe is not because they do not have dreams. No. It's because they are afraid. Afraid of rejection, afraid of failure, afraid of embarrassment, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of people laughing at them. Fear has a way of whispering to you when you're alone. What if they laugh? What if you are not good at it? What if you fail? What if things just don't work out? And to many people, that fear is enough to keep them locked in the same place for so long, for so many years, just because they are afraid. What are some type of fears that keep us held back and stuck in the same place? Fear of failure. We think if something fails, then it means we are failures. No, but failure is actually an event, not an identity. Fear of rejection. We fear if people say no to us, then we are not worthy. But rejection is nothing but redirection. Fear of embarrassment. We feel like the whole world is laughing at us, watching and, making fun of what we are doing. But you know what? A lot of people are actually so busy scrolling. They are so busy with their lives to focus on yours. I remember when I started posting on TikTok, I was so afraid of being roasted, of being embarrassed. I remember the first day, not really the first day, but the first few times that I posted myself singing, the voice sounded so off. Yeah, it has even given me anxiety. Now I feel like coffee. The voice sounded so off. And I was like, oh my goodness, today I know I will be roasted. News flash. The roast turned out delicious because I went viral instead. Yeah, there were negative comments, but I was trending. And we have to look at the positive sides, of course we have to. I want you to always remember that fear isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Fear is proof that you're trying something. Fear is proof that you're actually growing. Look at kids whenever they start trying to walk. They fall so many times. But we've never had a parent say, my child has fallen 2 times, so this means this child can never walk. No! They encourage them. They see they are trying. And that is how life is. And I want you to know every successful person you admire has a history of failures behind them, has a history of embarrassment, has a history of feeling not enough, has a history of failing so many times before they became the success that you admire. Failure goes hand in hand with success. I want you to always remember this. The people who laugh at you today will one day say they knew you when you started. The people who doubt you and those who make you feel as if you cannot achieve things will one day clap the loudest when you win. Don't let the fear of temporary embarrassment stop you from building permanent success. Fear will always be there, but courage is moving anyway. So yes, you might stumble, you might look silly sometimes, your ideas may not work, you may be the laughing stock, and unfortunately sometimes you might fail. But you know what is fortunate and what is more inspiring is that you will learn, grow, succeed, and become bigger and better in ways you could have never imagined if you played safe. Success does not belong to the careful. It belongs to the courageous. Success belongs to those who dare to dream, who dare to risk. And bestie, if you do not remember anything I said today, please remember this. Playing safe is the biggest risk. It will protect you from embarrassment. It will protect you from failure. It will protect you from looking stupid. But it will also rob you your dreams, your ambitions, your aspirations. And you are going to live a very miserable life because you played safe and you did not try to live your maximum potential. Don't shrink yourself to fit into someone else's comfort zone. The world does not need a safer version of you. It needs a bolder version of you. Your dreams are enough. Your visions are enough. The fact that you are afraid and you have all these fears, it just shows you are alive and that you have dreams and you are stepping into new territories. I want you to believe in yourself more and give yourself credit because we need you to be bolder. We need the best version of you, and we cannot have that if you keep shrinking yourself to accommodate other people's opinions. So, what risk are you willing to take out this week, this month, this year? Speak out, claim it, let's hold each other accountable. And always remember, playing safe is the biggest risk. Dare today so that tomorrow you'll be very proud of the story that you lived. I always have to remind myself every morning that if I keep daring, I will be remembered. But if I keep playing safe, I will be forgotten. Do I want to be forgotten? No. Do you think this beauty, this face, this intelligence, this girl with all these grand ideas should be forgotten? No. So what do? I show up daily. And so should you. What are some practical ideas to stop playing safe? Start small. There is no shortcut. You have to start with small risks. Post that video. That video that has been in your draft for years, post that one. Pitch that idea that you've been writing in your notes. Don't overthink it. Just take a step at a time. Pitch to that client even if you're not 100% ready. Start that business. Take that trip. Apply for that job even if you don't feel qualified. Because you know what? Confidence doesn't come first. Action does. And once you do that first step, you will realize, okay, it might not end up the way you wanted, but you will not die. So you did not die, you survived. And that will actually give you courage for the next task. Just imagine it like this. Maybe you've never tried a new hairstyle. I am a victim. I do that, I only have one hairstyle. But maybe you want to try a new hairstyle. Worst case scenario, you will look funny and terrible for a week or two. Or you will discover a signature hairstyle like I did with this one. So you have to look at it. Start small. Start small. Take that small risk and then build the momentum as you go. Detach yourself from others' opinion. Always remember this. Critics don't pay your bills, okay? They do not build your dreams. And most of the time, they actually wish they had your courage. And they wish they were you, so they are projecting their own fears to you. I say that before, right? So you have to always remind yourself this. If they've never built the life I want, if they've never built the life I want to build, if they've never invested in anything, if they never risk anything that yielded the same results that I want, then their opinions is nothing but background noise. Honestly, just background noise. And sometimes these opinions will come from those we love. Maybe our partners, our families, and the people we want to be with. But you have to always you always have to respect them, but do not obey it. Just know that, okay, fine, family is meant to protect you. They want what is safe for you. But at the end of the day, they are not going to live with the consequences. It's you who will live with your life. And you have to make the best decisions for you. You have to detach yourself from the opinions and know whether this works or not. If your life works or not, they will not be there. You will live with the consequences. And if you do not stop playing safe and follow your dreams, you are going to regret all your life. Will they help you carry the guilt? No. So if they will not help you carry the guilt, why should they help you carry the decisions? You make the best decisions for yourself and trust your voice and detach yourself from anyone's negative opinion. Shift your mindset. You have to shift your mindset that fear equals growth. Just remember your life. The first time you drove, you were scared, right? The first time you posted a video, you were scared, right? The first time you stood to give a speech in public, you're very scared, right? But what did that happen? That actually gave you confidence to try and try more. Every new level begins with fear. And look at it from this angle. Instead of always telling yourself, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what if this is my breakthrough? What if this is the one moment that I will shine and my life is about to change forever? Don't look at fear as your stop sign, okay? Look at fear as your green light. Fear means you're growing. Fear means you're stepping into new territories. And that should be exciting. You should change and shift your mind to be okay with fear. Every time you're afraid, just know that is a step for you to grow. And honestly, every time I go to places and maybe I want to ask a question, I am a very curious person. So they will give a presentation and then I will want to ask a question. My heart starts beating so fast. I get so afraid. But I still raise my hand. And you know what? Every place I've spoken, almost every place, actually, I think every place, if it's a lecturer, if it's someone, they always come and tell me, you are so intelligent. Like almost every place I ask a question, I've been told how intelligent I am. And even recently we had a family meeting and the elder was like, so now I was contributing and my heart was beating fast, yeah? I was contributing and the elder told my grandfather, he said, if this grandchild of yours was your firstborn, your home will be very successful. She's very intelligent. So you see, I have a lot of fears to give my opinion. But every time I speak, a lot of people come and tell me how intelligent I am. So how would I have known I'm intelligent if I was being afraid of speaking? Shift that mindset, oh. That might be your breakthrough. Celebrate effort. Failure teaches, regret haunts. You will always learn more from the risks that you took than the risk you avoided. So teach yourself to celebrate the process, to celebrate your effort, not just the outcome. Even if you fail today, clap for yourself. Because why? Why are you clapping for yourself? Because you tried to dare. You tried to dream. Always remember that every attempt you make makes you braver for the next one. So celebrate yourself for just trying, for just daring. Clap for yourself, journal for yourself, dance about it, tell your friends about it. learn to celebrate effort. Every effort you take matters, so learn to celebrate your effort. Energy is contagious. You become like the people you spend time with. If your group is always gossiping, always laughing, always not doing anything that is of importance, that is who you become in 1 year time or 2 years. So that is why it's very important to always surround yourself with people who are thinking, people who are creating, people who are building, people who are dreamers. Because you know what that does to you? Their fire catches up on you. That is why community is very important. That is why most of the rich people remain rich, because their circle is the rich, fellow rich people, and they encourage each other to look for wealth. That is why most friends, if a student is a top student and then they become friends with other top students, they'll still remain top students. Energy is so contagious, and you become like the people you spend time with. Teach yourself that you will always be around people who are self-motivated, because that will help you achieve more. Have mentors, have friends, community around you that always reminds you anytime that you're playing safe, that safe is not an option. Let me ask you, let's say you are going to the gym and then you get like 3 friends or 5 friends and then you go with them and they are lazy. You know what that happens? You will not work out. You'll actually end up going home with just mirror selfies. That's how energy works. The people you spend time with will make sure whether you'll be focused or you will fail. Surround yourself with doers and nothing less. Document your risks. One day you will look back and realize the things that scared you most are actually the things that build you. It also helps you keep track of the changes that is happening in life. So keep a journal. Document any risk that you've taken, how it felt before you took the risk, how it felt when you were taking the risk, how it was after you took the risks, the lessons you learned, the failures, the successes. And with no time, you will realize how much you've grown. And you will look back and say the things that scared you last year are not the same things that scared you this year. And that will really, really help you to build your confidence and know, okay, I am growing. Because the problem sometimes with taking risks is that you always feel like nothing is growing, like nothing is working. Building behind the scenes sometimes can actually be very tricky because you don't see the progress right away. So document your risks.